Hi, I'm Angela from the Parker Center for Plastic Surgery, and today I have a very special guest with me to talk about early onset Alzheimer's disease. There are over 6 million people right now suffering from Alzheimer's disease. By 2050, there will be 13 million people suffering from Alzheimer's disease. And our goal is to try to help the families in New Jersey deal with this devastating disease.
I was 12 years old when my mom was first diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. We did start to notice symptoms around when she was 50 or so probably when I was about 10 is when things kind of really started to change with Mom. Some of the early signs and symptoms that my family and I observed at the beginning of Mom's diagnosis was really her speech was what was impacted. It was very difficult for her to kind of find the words that she wanted to say. You would kind of be able to see on her face that she was struggling. And also she would go to say a word that she thought was correct and it was like completely different and out of context, but to her she thought it was the correct word that she needed to say. In talking about my mom and thinking of her and who she was before she got sick, I really just think of someone who was like a superwoman. She not only had 3 daughters that she was very involved with everything from school to, outside activities like dance and art classes, but she also worked part-time. She was a dental hygienist, and she just was always so on top of everything. She was so involved in everything that we did. We always consider her like the captain of our ship. How me and my family helped my mom at the beginning of her diagnosis was really learning to just assume her reality. We learned early on that in her mind, she thought certain things were real that maybe actually weren't. And we learned that when we tried to convince her otherwise, it didn't really go that well. So we just kind of went along with what she thought. She would think that she needed to maybe go, walk to school. The burden of care for my family and myself to take care of my mom was definitely a big caregiver burden. She stayed at home with us for the first 7 years of her illness. And due to that and the progression of the disease, it came to a point where she was never able to be left alone. So my sisters, my dad, my aunt, and myself would all rotate times of being home with her so that we can make sure that she was safe and she wasn't left alone. I think the most difficult part for me about my mom's disease was the constant state of grief. The grief didn't just come when she passed. The grief was always there from the second she was diagnosed until she did end up passing. This constant state of grief, I feel like, is something only loved ones with someone who has Alzheimer's can really understand, because every day you're losing a piece of that person. I hope to achieve by starting my own support group for early onset Alzheimer's or Alzheimer's disease is to create a safe space for other young adults who have a loved one with Alzheimer's to know that they are not alone and that there are people who are similar in age who are going through what they're going through and can relate to them in a way that only people who are really going through that can understand.
Every year at the Parker Center, we devote an entire day providing non-surgical procedures to all of our patients at a discounted rate. We reach out to our vendors and they donate products, and our staff donate services, and 100% of the proceeds go to Alzheimer's New Jersey. What I love about Alzheimer's New Jersey is the money that we raise goes directly to the families of Alzheimer's patients, and I think that is That's the main reason why we love Alzheimer's New Jersey, because we need to take care of our own in our state. Alzheimer's is an epidemic, and it's only going to get worse, and we need the help of everybody to help us combat this disease and help our families cope with the emotional hardship that they're all going through. So we urge everybody and anybody to help with any financial means they can to Alzheimer's New Jersey.